Hello and welcome to one of the greatest spectacles in 10-pin bowling. It's the Weber Cup Season 14 at the Barnsley Metrodome. Yes, welcome to Barnsley. We've already had Weber Cup history. We're only 2 games into this season's competition and we've already had the perfect game, a 300 game. It's so hard to do. Here's what happened.
Team Europe returned with a fresh lineup, a new captain and a new player as they attempted to revenge their defeat last year. The USA team remained unchanged as they returned to defend their title. In match 1, it was a Baker, and Team Europe went on to get the first point on the board with an excellent finish from Dom Barrett. Match 2 saw the first singles game as Dom Barrett went up against Chris Barnes, and the Americans responded to their first match defeat in style as Barnes went on to score a perfect game.
Confirmation then that the scores lie at 1-1, but that is only half the story because Chris Barnes has written his name into Weber Cup folklore with that 300 game. The perfect game, we say it's a little bit like a 147 in snooker or a 9 darter. He's done it in 10-pin bowling and he's done it in style as well. What will that mean for the Americans' momentum? Let's find out. It's time for our next game. Representing Europe, the Moose, Mika Koivuniemi. And now representing the USA, Tommy Jones. Right then, let's have a quick chat with the players before we get underway then. Mika, you guys started so well, but then that 300 game, that was an impressive performance from Chris, wasn't it?
That's pretty good for their captain, so hopefully I can keep up same kind of work here. But it's against Tommy, who bowled every other game 300 this lane, so it's going to be tough.
Tommy, we used to call you Mr. 300, but how impressed were you and how happy were you all for Chris Barnes in writing a little bit of Weber Cup history there?
Well, anytime you can bowl 300 in front of an atmosphere like this, it's a lot of fun. So I know what he was feeling, but more importantly, it was a big game for us because I let him down in the Baker, and he came back, did what a captain's supposed to do, and got us back to even.
Yeah, and I know it's all about the lane conditions for you guys. Is there a feeling this year that with the 300 game so early, the lane condition could be really good for some spectacular scores?
Yeah, so far it seems like the lane condition is going to be a little high scoring. Obviously, as the week goes on, we'll figure out a little more, and you know, that could be good, could be bad, depending on the transition. But right now, all looks for an exciting Weber Cup.
We'll see how it goes. Tommy, Mika, thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy and Mika. And over to your commentators, Cass Edwards and Andy Bodfish.
It's game 3 of the Weber Cup. It is 1 apiece on the scoreboard. It's the second singles match. Tommy Jones up against Europe's skipper, Mika Koivuniemi, who will bowl first.
Look out for the well-known, famous Mika Koivuniemi loft. When he releases the ball, he lofts it over the foul line and often goes about 6 to 10 feet down the lane before it touches. And there it is with a big thump.
That's the start Mika would have wanted.
Yeah, big thump on the 1-3 pocket there as well. Sets up the reaction in the back end in the pin deck. Very high backswing. You can see where Mika is standing on the approach. He's standing way left. Throwing that ball right, just about makes the pocket. That carries all 10. And there's the European fans, that team domination. All of Dom Barrett's family and friends turn up on an annual basis at the Weber Cup. and support Team Europe.
Yeah, we'll have to canvass American opinion. The non-playing Americans sitting right in the midst of that Barrett clan. Tommy Jones responding.
As you can see on the score sheet, I could say that both players are actually on a 300 game, but it's true but slightly premature. Let's not go there just yet. Both players, of course, playing the lane, trying to work out where the oil is, which they can't see. It's only they can work it out on their ball reaction.
Well, he's left the 10 standing, and Mika won't be happy with that. Standard's already been set, this Weber Cup, with that opening singles perfect game from Chris Barnes.
Just a fraction light in that 1-3 pocket, and that 6-pin just lays in the channel, doesn't go around and hit the 10-pin, so it can only be a spare. But it's likely to be what they call a carry contest. Both of these players more than likely will hit that pocket, the 1-3 pocket for the right-hander, and just hope they can carry all 10 pins. Unfortunately, Mika left that one standing, so as we say, we call it a carry contest. It's either going to be 9s or strikes. Well, we certainly hope so anyway, Andy.
Well, such is the quality, such is the standard on show here at this Weber Cup, that this is already an opening for Tommy Jones.
Well, we call him Mr. 300, and people know why. He's had 300 games on this lane. Bowling very much a similar sort of line that he is just now, and that's 2 strikes in a row for him. And a little comment to, I think, Chris Barnes sitting down next to the lane saying, nah, not this time. But hey, he looked absolutely perfect. High backswing, big snap of the wrist, sails that ball out wide, comes back and carries all 10. What a great looking shot.
Well, there's a fascinating insight into the psyche of these elite performers with Chris Barnes' interview, which he gave to Tony a moment after completing that perfect game. You must be delighted with that, was the question. I should have rather humdrum response. Well, it's Tommy who's got more than me. So it's the level of competitiveness inside the team. But, the messenger, they got the 10 pin. And Mika will be thankful for that. But, yeah, there's no doubt about it. The standard's been set.
Yeah, big smiles all around here for Mika. Not quite in the pocket, you can see it's light on the head pin, but that is the head pin coming back across the pin deck. And he called it right. It's called the messenger. And it takes the 10 pin away just at the last minute. So Mika happy with his work, but 280 is his highest score now.
Yeah, Tommy, 2 strikes so far. That's the turkey.
He's looking awfully good, isn't he? Dear, oh dear. 3 solid strikes in a row for Jones. Pressure on Koivuniemi, but as long as Jones keeps striking, that pressure will still be there all the way through the game.
Mika from Tampere in Finland originally. Lives and plays in the US these days, and he's able to strike there.
Yeah, now resides in Heartland in Michigan, in the northern states of the USA, plays the PBA Tour, and is one of the top players out there. Been out there for about 13 or 14 years. So it's obviously having some great success, but it's nice to see him come back, A, for the Weber Cup, and also to come back in the close season and play on the European Tour and beat some of the European players. Also goes out to the Middle East and takes some of the titles out there. Jones, 3 strikes in a row.
4 from 4. TJ perfect so far, thank you very much.
Yeah, I thought this one was just a tad tighter, straighter on that headpin 1-3 pocket. Does it not quite get out as far as it should? No, it's just a little bit, a big reaction to the back end, and that one is high on the headpin. in contrast, but it still carries all 10. Could that be the fortunate one? They do say that when bowlers have a 300 game, there's normally one strike in there that's maybe slightly not quite right, but the wheel of fortune turns in funny ways sometimes.
Mika strikes again. Standard is so high here.
Yeah, well, the lane condition is certainly holding up over the last couple of games. And we thank the lanesman Ross Gibson from Boltec to set up this lane. It's a high scoring condition, but as Chris Barnes said in a previous interview, it may well change. The lane pattern may be changed just to test these players out a little bit more, and I mean by change it could be shortened or lengthened, and that will make the players put their thinking hats on, maybe have to change some bowling balls with different reactions, but that's maybe all to come. At the moment we're watching, we call him Mr. 300, Tommy Jones, trying to do it again.
4 strikes from 4 frames thus far, and we can make that 5 from 5.
Everything is just about right, isn't it? The repeatability, he's got the speed right, he's got the angles right, he's got the rotation on the ball right, and he's got the reaction in the back end. All of those sort of are the things you have to get right time after time. Repeatability is one of the major parts of this game.
Welcome back to the Weber Cup. Match 3 is underway between Mika Koivuniemi and Tommy Jones. Could it be another perfect game for the Americans? Let's hand back over to your commentary team, Cass Edwards and Andy Bodfish.
Here's Mika.
Have some of that. Blow that 10 pin away, Mika. Dear, oh dear. Certainly not the best shot in the world. Left the 10 pin standing, and he blew it over.
Not for the first time in this game, but that's still 5 strikes from 6 for Mika.
Just about makes the head pin. There's a bit of damage done on the left-hand side, but there's more damage done on the right-hand side with that 10 pin. Great looking shot, a great looking reaction, yes.
Well, that just about sums it up. He caught that head pin very, very thin, didn't he? He got a break. There's Tommy. It's another strike for TJ.
What Chris do, Tommy do. 6 in a row, looking good. He's not going to get too excited. He's been there before, as we know, not only just at the Weber Cup, but many other tournaments and in the United States. He knows the job is only half done. He's hoping that he can retain the reaction that his ball is getting down lane in the back end. And of course, he hopes that he can throw it exactly perfectly time and time again, as he has been doing.
Mika's the highest ranked European player on the current world list. And he strikes again.
Yeah, it's funny actually, Andy, because Mika Koivuniemi comes from Finland, obviously, and we know that. But lots of us consider him almost American now. He's been out there, living out there for so long with the family. He's been on the tour for so long, won so much. Very, very respected player out there. One of the best in the world, if not the best. Chris Barnes will have something to say about that. But yeah, we almost think of him as an American, actually. It's very strange, but yeah, sure, he's a Finn, and that's why he's captain of the European side.
Just a little break to the rhythm here for Tommy.
Well, he's using the air blower there just to cool his hand off, taking any residue of sweat off before he puts those fingers and thumb into the ball. In fact, he puts the thumb in first and the fingers afterwards, which is slightly unusual.
Chalk it up.
But that's not unusual. 7 in a row for TJ, Tommy Jones. I've never actually seen on television back-to-back 300s or consecutive 300s.
Oh, shush, Cass.
players have done it. You know, there has been 200s in a row and 300s in a row, and even in the States 300s and 900 block of 3, but not at the Weber Cup. There's still a way to go, but it's definitely on.
Not, it has to be said, for Mika,
who can only score 280. Oh, get over, timber, somebody shouted. The 710 split was standing, not the best shot in the world. Hit the hairpin a bit like a wet Sunday afternoon. It's got the rotation of the ball and it just gets out too far. It's snagged in the oil, light on the headpin. There's the 710, and a little kick from that pin in the channel, and over it goes. Just about makes it, but it can only be a spare, which Mika really didn't need. And you see how much damage it does to his score. It drops down now to 259 if he can strike off. And I'm sure he's thinking that this one is sliding away, if already not gone.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth there, Cass, actually, because it's TJ to bowl again. Perfect so far.
Oh, a full start from Jones. Fortunately, it managed to hang on to the ball, because if he'd let go of that one, it would have been well, who knows where it would have gone. Could have gone in the channel and been a 0.
Don't see that too often, in fairness.
High backswing, great follow through, and just stop yourself. Very, very close to that foul line. Hangs on to the ball so he can regroup. And just to regroup, he's going to take a re-rack on the pins. So a bit of dramatic action here, with TJ sitting on 7 strikes in a row. 1 false start, which won't penalise him, but it certainly could throw his mental game off here. Buries that thumb in the ball. There goes the second and third fingers.
The re-rack didn't hurt him last time out. Question mark over this bowl. Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Well, Andy,
8 from 8 now, Cass.
From 8, it wasn't the greatest shot in the world. It hit the head pin. It certainly didn't make the pocket flush, but he's set up that chain reaction. He's got the reaction in the back end. Look at this ball. It's slightly wide. It's coming back, but it's come back too late.
That's 20 successive strikes now from the United States team. Barnes and Jones.
I'm sure they'll be pleased to hear it. Just fantastic bowling from Jones. There's not much Mika can do except just play this one out.
It's Mika's foundation frame. Gently does it.
The game certainly hurries along when there's a lot of strikes being bowled, and Jones is already up for the 9th frame. Just doing what we call a little bit of gardening there to his bowling ball. Maybe just putting a bit of bowler's tape into the thumb hole, just make sure the grip is perfect for him. He had that false start last time. Just cleaning any residue of dust off of his sliding shoe. Everything's got to be perfect because this is the big ball for him. If this is 10 pins in the pit, he will be standing up, well, let's say hopefully, to roll another one. Fidgeting and fussing, but he's not going to be pushed to start. Everything's got to be right.
Here, a pin drop in the Metrodome.
Well, I'm looking for 10 pins to be heard drop with this ball.
He's got it. It's 9 from 9. We are in uncharted territory in terms of the Weber Cup here.
Excuse me for laughing, but that was a Brooklyn strike. He's tucked this ball left of his target by a long way, and look at that, it's crossed the head pin, wrong side, trips the 6 and makes it 9 strikes in a row. Oh, lucky man is Tommy Jones, and he knows it, but he won't care.
As long as they tumble, no need to grumble.
I talked about that one lucky strike, and that was definitely the one. Dear, oh dear.
Tommy knows it as well, doesn't he? He knows it.
And so does Mika.
Yeah, he's needing to stay focused, something that he seemingly failed to do there.
Yeah, it's all over. He's having a laugh. He's got a split in the 10th frame. That's the 4-7-10. It's a makeable split, but I think he'll probably just want to get this one out of the way and stand aside to let Tommy shoot his next couple of shots.
Yeah, sit back and enjoy like the rest of us are doing.
225. Not a bad score for Mika, average to say the least, but below par for this high-scoring lane. Now let's just sit back and watch Mr. 300, see if he can do it again.
This extraordinary sequence of successive strikes from the Americans. Chris Barnes, now Tommy Jones. Mr. 300 has 3 more for another perfect game. Oh yes.
I'm still watching. Strike number 10 in a row for Tommy Jones. 2007, 2008, 2009, nearly in 2012. As I said on the film Poltergeist, he's back. Just can't imagine 2 300s back to back.
Yeah, it's extraordinary.
In the same tournament on television. History in the making, possibly. Come on, Tommy.
11 from 11 for Tommy. Yes, it is. Whoa. We are witnessing something absolutely special here.
You actually heard Tommy shout hook. Now this one has just gone wide of his mark. Great reaction in the back end. Not perfect in the pocket, but I've got another strike, and that's 11 in a row for me, and I'm a very, very happy man.
Paul Moore, 2006. Tommy Jones, 07, 08, 09. Chris Barnes already once in this Weber Cup 2013. That was in the previous match. We'll take another perfect game. So would Tommy. Keep calm, man. Focus.
Just buried this one in the 1-3 pocket, Tommy. And you've got another 300, one hopes.
Mr. 300, has he done it again? Of course he has! Tommy Jones. Perfect game, number 4 in the Weber Cup. It's the second we've seen tonight, the opening night of the 2013 Weber Cup, and we have seen 2 perfect games. What is going on, Cass? This is bowling of the very highest order.
I'm almost lost for words. Mika bowled not a bad game for 225, but Tommy Jones, Mr. 300, has done it yet again.
Well, your eyes are not deceiving you. Chris Barnes with a perfect game in the first singles of the opening session in this Weber Cup, followed up swiftly by another from Tommy Jones. So United States lead Europe by 2-1. Amazing. Over to Tony.
Thank you. Yes, I'm with Tommy. Tommy, we've always called you Mr. 300, and you've seen Chris do it, and you've done it as well. What is going on? Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. It's something about this lane and all the crowd here in Barnsley, and you know, it's moose season back in the States, so you got to kill the moose early.
2007, 2008, and 2009, you did that. You haven't done it since, but what a return to form. Is there something about the lane this year that's changed?
No, I think it's just Dom. Dom inspires me because they start talking very early. but they quiet really quickly. It just happens, and now they're all good friends of mine, but we razzle each other all the time, and it's always fun when that happens.
Now in the 8th, you kind of abortive mission very late, didn't you? I mean, that looked quite hard actually to do. You got a 15-pound ball in your hand, and it was a very last minute. Why did you pull out there?
Yeah, it's pretty cold in here tonight. My hand's kind of clammy. I feel like Patrick Allen, but I just felt like I was going to lose the ball and stopped at the last second. That was a key shot because Mika could only bowl 259. If I struck there, then then I just needed 2 spares to win. It's all about getting the point for the team.
Tommy, you've made history, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. 300. Well, what is going on in this Weber Cup? 2 perfect games, 2 300 games. Could we have another? Find out next. Welcome back to the Weber Cup. History has already been made here in Barnsley. Before the break, we saw Tommy Jones score a perfect game, making it 2 300 matches back-to-back for the Americans. They really are setting the pace here as they make a bid to defend their title. Let's bring you confirmation of the results so far, and those 2 perfect games have given Team USA the lead 2-1. Coming up next, it's a singles clash between Mike Fagan and Martin Larsson. Before the event got underway, we caught up with the Swede, who returns to the Weber Cup after he was part of the winning team back in 2009.
I think my biggest accomplishment is the 2 golds in the World Championships, the team 2003 and the doubles 06. And by far the most fun thing I have in a bowling lane was 2009 here at the Barnsley Metrodome. It was just something spectacular to bowl the Weber Cup. You can't compare it to anything else. To be able to compete as a team for Europe, it's a big thing. It's an honor. We have a really good team. Of course, the US guys are good too, and they come in with 2 last year's victory. So, of course, they think they're going to walk away with this one too. But we want something else. We're going to stop them for sure. For me personally, it would be a really good thing to be able to come in and help and be 100% champ in the Weber Cup. So, yeah, that's what we're going to try to do.
So here we go, singles matchup number 3. Mike Fagan against Martin Larsson here, the 3rd singles match in the opening session of Weber Cup 14. The United States lead 2-1. Mike Fagan up first here. Got a lot to live up to, just a bit.
He is the king of swing. Very, very high backswing. Great follow through.
And another strike. That'll be 25 in a row now for the United States.
And I'm glad you're keeping count. Mike Fagan lays the ball down. Just gets a little bit outside. Gets a great reaction in the back end, because that last part of the lane is very, very dry, and the friction between the ball and the lane and the rotation on that ball makes it hook up into the pocket and drive through.
There comes Larsson with his benchmark ball on fresh oil. No bother.
It kind of gets to the stage where perhaps we shouldn't speak very much and just talk about spares if they happen to arrive, but at the moment it's strikes galore on this, as I say, freshly dressed lane. Larsson just a little bit light in the pocket, carries all 10. Certainly getting a good, everybody's getting good pin action in the back end, even if it's a light hit on the head pin. Fagan for 2 in a row. Well,
nowhere near. The run had to come to an end sooner or later.
Oh well, thank goodness it did. We've got something to talk about. Mike Fagan's left a little spare on the right hand side. It's the 6, 9 and a 10 off of a ball that comes up high, straight to the face of the number 1 pin, nowhere near the pocket, but it's a straightforward spare, hard and straight, And there you go. That's called a spare. You don't see very many of them, or we haven't done in this particular tournament, but let's just keep an eye out for one or two that must be coming.
Maximum score for the United States thus drops to 280. We're not going to see another 300 in this match.
Well, if they share it around, I mean, I guess the European player could have 300 in the shape of Martin Larsson, but I'm not going to bet on it.
Just going to say from an American player. Just thought I'd slip that in because it's still a possibility for Europe. That's 2 out of 2 strike-wise for Martin Larsson.
Yes, and there we saw a shot of the domination team that are supporting Team Europe. This is a much better looking shot from Larsson. 10 pins last to go, but it carries, and he's very happy. And the team domination there, I don't know if you can see on their shirts, keep calm and spank the Yanks, it's saying, which is a bit outrageous, but there's 24 of them sitting there with shirts all identical.
Fagan again, and yeah, he's left another spare.
Slightly high on the hairpin, leaves a 4-pin standing this time. It's funny, you know, some bowlers that really get on a run of strikes, all of a sudden they'll leave a single pin and they think, my God, I've got to bowl somewhere else apart from the 1-3 pocket. I've got to hit a single pin this time. Covers it nicely, but his score drops yet again, 269 maximum.
Interesting interview just prior to bowling here against Larsson from Fagan. Just looked a touch overawed, I might contend, with the kind of company he's keeping. The 300 perfects from Barnes and Jones. Anything less becomes becomes a problem, I dare say, in a team event like this, when the bar has been set so high. Players either respond or there's the temptation to crumble. We're not going to see a perfect from Europe here.
Yeah, slightly tighter shot. Slightly left of his mark that time from Martin Larsson. It held line on the oil, but it was just that fraction high on the headpin. All the multicoloured balls out in this tournament. Each player brings approximately 6 to 8 bowling balls with them. Some even more when they tour in the United States. They've got lots of excess baggage in the shape of a couple of dozen bowling balls.
So 10 pins in it, a maximum of 279 for Larsson in Europe, 269 for Fagan in the US. I suppose in a sense normal service resumed here.
Let's just wait and see. Oh, trip those 2 pins there. Well, Mike Fagan's gone high in the head pin. It's left the 4-pin standing with the 10-pin. To all intents and purposes, a big split, but some flying wood from somewhere has hit them both and they've gone over. Now just watch this one. High on the head pin. There's the 4, there's the 10, and over they both go. Look at that. Nudged from behind. Very delicate.
Oof. 10-pin left standing.
Well, yeah, that's the pin that normally stands up. If it's not going to go for the right-hander who hits the pocket with an to intensive purposes, a great-looking shot. It's that corner pin that stands up. Didn't quite make the pocket, leaves the flat 10. And the Euro captain, well, he's happy with the spare, but it's not what they need. Just the 1-pin difference now, and it's 268 for the Europeans if they can strike out.
Frame 5 and a 3rd strike for Mike Fagan.
Importantly, yes, it's the first double of the match. So he retains his lead. Yes, it would be an interesting conversation to listen into, Jones and Barnes. They may well be criticising Fagan for not having a 300 or not being on a 300. But yeah, they could certainly talk about the next one perhaps. Koivuniemi, best of pals with Chris Barnes, just adding his comments. And there we saw the 6-pin just laying in front of the 10. Not quite enough drive to kick it out.
Same as his last throw. Last frame, I should say.
Yeah, it just needs maybe a little bit more momentum as it gets to the pocket, a little more drive, a bit more rotation, just to get those pins jumping. Mind, they have been jumping so far in the tournament, but unfortunately it's that 10-pin again that Larsson's got a spare. And there's the situation at the halfway stage.
The United States just with their noses ahead. Team USA with a 2-1 advantage already coming into this third singles matchup. Fagan seeking out the turkey. Oh, just not quite.
Yeah, a bit of a lazy 7-pin there. Just wouldn't go over, would it? Fagan lays the ball out on the lane with a bit of loft. Comes back fractionally light on that headpin, and that's why that 7-pin is wobbling. Took the gamble, and Fagan is a gambler. His favourite other pastime apart from bowling is playing poker, would you believe? And I wonder he was looking a bit flush with that shot. Larsson there, man from Sweden, loves a bit of golf in his spare time. Spends a lot of time out on the US tour, so has ample opportunity to test the fairways out there. Well, it's becoming a bit repetitious, isn't it?
I was just going to say, that's 3 in a row now. Left that 10-pin hanging.
It could be decision time, because is he going to decide to change something to get perhaps a different angle coming into that pocket? I mean, it's just a little bit light. Or would you stay with it and hope that you're going to get perhaps a bit of luck and that 10-pin kicked out? You can't spare forever. There will come a time when he says, I have to make a change or I'm not going to win this game. But at the moment, it's only a 2-pin turnaround, so perhaps he'll just stay with it for another shot. See what reaction he gets. Fagan, a former winner of a major tournament in the States, US Masters. Strikes beautifully there, right in the pocket, and carries all 10 for his 4th strike of the game.
Yeah, that's Fagan back to form. Game in the 7th frame. Once again, gauntlet laid down to Martin Larsson.
Yeah, well, Andy, the pressure's on him now. Fagan's laid down that strike. He's got the lead. So somewhere along the line, Larsson will probably have to double to snatch that lead back. Of course, we're running out of frames. It's frame 7 already. Working on 4 spares in a row. It's a ball change. And that's, well, that's really done the job.
Yeah, they wanted it. They needed it. They got it. That was the change, a very professional change that he made. Changed the ball without much practice and just blasted the pocket, carried all 10. So he's back in this. It's still 2 pins turned down for Europe, but both have chances of doubles. First strike in 5 though for Larsson, as Europe attempt to just arrest the slide here. Oh. Wow, was that Larsson or was that Fagan?
Well, that was Fagan, and now the pressure builds on Fagan. He hasn't struck, he hasn't doubled. He's left a ringing 10-pin in the corner here off of a ball that's light in the pocket. And he also knows, and that's why the pressure's on him, that Larsson is on a strike and could get the double and take the lead. So Fagan's maximum drops to 228. Takes a straightforward spare in the corner there. And now it's up to European and Sweden's Martin Larsson to bury one in the pocket to take the lead. Larsson looking for 10. Oh, can only trip a 4-pin, standing still. Just a fraction high. Yeah. Sorry, Andy, it was just a fraction high. I mean, this was such a big ball, not quite in the pocket, so he doesn't get the reaction in the back end, and that will be disappointing for him. And there you see his score drops, his maximum score drops to 226, so it's Fagan back in the lead. How important a double would have been there for Team Europe.
Still could go either way. Frame 9 now. Fagan to bowl.
Yeah, big frame, foundation, frame number 9. USA to bowl first.
Gets the strike exactly when he wanted it in the foundation here. And are we looking at a 3-1 lead for the United States?
Well, it's early days yet in this game, although we're in the closing frames. And Fagan has kind of set the bar there, because to stay with him, Larsson must strike. But we said that on the last frame when he rang a single pin. This one really has to be good.
Yeah, made it in frames 1, 2 and 7. Needs another one here, does Larsson. He's got it! Europe needed that.
It's a great looking shot under pressure in the foundation frame from Martin Larsson. He's buried it in the pocket and it's carried all 10. The difference remains at 2 pins, so it's a 10th frame shootout basically. Dare I say, the first man to double could well be the winner here. Both men on strikes, both in the 9th frame, coming up for the 10th.
Is Fagan, who's going to keep their nerve at the tail end of this 3rd singles match. Fagan strikes through. Well played.
Yeah, 2 more strikes and he shuts out Martin Larsson. 1 more strike and an 8 count will give Larsson the chance to tie if he can strike out. So it's going all the way to the wire. This is a really big ball. It's the 2nd ball in the 10th. Looking for 10.
3 strikes in a row. That's his turkey. Well, and the chips are down. Mike Fagan is really delivering here.
Well, anything over 8 will be a winner. Strike on 9 will be good enough.
Fagan for another strike. The 10-pin wiped its feet, but he got it, and it's another point for the United States, Cass.
Finishes with 4 strikes in a row, and this is a great looking shot under pressure.
Particularly after the delay. Upset his rhythm somewhat. So, there you have it. Those 2 300s, the highlights so far on opening night at the Weber Cup. Mike Fagan defeating Martin Larsson, and it is 3-1 to the US. Over to Tony.
Well done, Mike. Is it fair to say that you got better as that game went on?
Yeah, obviously the lane started to transition a little bit, and you know, I kind of had some first ball jitters, but you know, settled down a little bit and made some really good shots down the stretch.
Now, we'd seen 2 300 games, but then, of course, the lane was oiled. You must have been wishing that they wouldn't have oiled it at that point.
Well, a win's a win, and I'm happy to get the point for our team, regardless of the score.
It was an exciting game. It was like watching 2 boxers trading blows, trading punches. We didn't know what was going to happen until the very end there. And as you say, you really improved as it went on.
Thank you very much. You know, I just got up in the 10th and just wanted to make some really good shots, and I did just that. So I'm glad I got the point.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. There you go. Mike Fagan, ladies and gentlemen. So the USA open up a dangerous 2-point lead. What will happen in our next match? Join us next time.